Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Vibe Stadium in Colorado Springs. It's a Class 4A state tournament baseball game as the Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Silver Creek Raptors. I'm John Beltran, and what a game this promises to be today between 26-2 Silver Creek and 19-9 Fort Morgan as three teams remain in this tournament. Earlier today, Pueblo West eliminated Holy Family by a score of 14-1 in 4.5 innings, which is why we're basically going to be starting on time here. Silver Creek got to this point with two very close wins, 5-4 over Wheat Ridge in walk-off fashion. They outscored Holy Family 11-7, and then they beat Pueblo West in walk-off fashion 6-5. That was all last week. Same story for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Two games on Friday, one on Saturday, as Fort Morgan defeated Golden 6-1, lost a heartbreaker to Pueblo West in 8 innings, 8-7, before they were able to eliminate Cheyenne Mountain 8-4. Mustangs 10-6 during the regular season out of the Tri-Valley League, and during the season they were 15-8, but now 19-9 after going 4-1 in the postseason. Silver Creek went 14-0 in the Northern League, 26-0 against schools in Colorado, so they have not lost a game against Colorado competition. They've won 20 consecutive games, but again, they've been tested here at this state tournament. And we already saw in Class 3A earlier today a stunner as University had a 4-1 lead against Resurrection Christian from Butch Butler Field in Greeley with 2 outs and nobody on. Res came up with 4 hits. There was a walk, 2 more hits that scored 5 runs as Resurrection Christian beat University 6-5. So even though University's playing in the championship game in 3A, they were up by 3 runs and had won their first 3 games, a shoo-in to go into that state championship round tomorrow with 0 losses, and yet they have won. So anything can happen here. We saw that Fort Morgan earlier in the tournament faced a 24-2 Pueblo West team, and they were 1 strike away from beating them twice before losing 8-7 in 8 innings. So this is no longer the same Mustang team that began the season 1-3, that certainly struggled at certain points of the year. This is really a team right now that is in complete control and playing their best baseball of 2019. Gorgeous day here in Colorado Springs. Temperature is in the upper 60s right now, expected to get to about 72, 73 degrees for first pitch in just a few minutes. Starting lineups will be introduced as well. I don't believe we'll have another national anthem. In fact, they normally do that before the very first game. But nonetheless, the Mustangs and Silver Creek Raptors about to battle. Silver Creek has never won a state baseball championship. Neither has Fort Morgan. The Mustangs, with their deepest run since 1952. In fact, you can check out our B106 Facebook page and on Twitter at B106. We spoke to a couple of members of that 52 team, including Marshall Green. He lives in Boise, Idaho. We got some audio up there and a picture of Marshall saluting the players and sending a very special message to these Mustangs at a team dinner that took place on Wednesday night in Fort Morgan. So these Mustangs are ready to go. They're going to be the visiting team for this particular game. Let's send it over to the public address announcer. And, well, actually, Willie had introduced the starting lines because Silver Creek is already out there. Not on the field, but they've got their gloves on. So let's send it over here to the PA.
First for the home team, the Silver Creek Raptors. Their head coach is Brad Stewart. Assistant coaches, Anthony Garcia, Chad Bollinger, Tanner Bollinger, and David Bodiger. Batting leadoff and playing right field, number 4, Charlie Jackson. Batting second, playing third base, number 9, Michael Wegleiter. Batting third, playing center field, number 2, Spencer Rich. Batting fourth, second baseman, number 6, Justin Swinson. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 15, Tanner Regan. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 11, Cam Hassert. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 5, Alex Rich. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 10, Chris Brown. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 3, Rex Olinger. The pitcher for the Silver Creek Raptors today is number 7, Ryan Cease. And the rest of the Silver Creek Raptors. Now for the visiting team, the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Their head coach, Josh Langford. Assistant coaches, Randy Getman, Ty Davies, Drew Davies, Tanner Campbell, Matt Hawley, Grant Harden, and Caden Shuttlesworth. And now the starting lineup for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Batting first and playing center field, number 10, JT Hamer. Batting second, playing right field, number 6, Jacob Ortega. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 8, Isaac Linker. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 12, Nick Norris. Batting fifth, the pitcher, number 20, Mateo Salcido. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 11, Javier Vaquero. Batting seventh, second baseman, number 21, Nick Beltran. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 7, Connor Fajardo. Batting ninth, third baseman, number 2, Austin Apple. And the rest of the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Our umpires for this second semifinal game of the day. Behind the plate, Dan Falk. First base umpire, Ken Porter. And third base umpire, Bill Fleming. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start today's game, we would like the team captains for the 2 participating teams to be at home plate for a special presentation. The Colorado High School Activities Association would like to present the participating teams with a Final Four plaque commemorating their participation in the 2019 State Baseball Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, making the presentation to Silver Creek and Fort Morgan on behalf of the Colorado High School Activities Association is Site Director Chris Knoll. He is Colorado Springs School District 11's Director of Athletics and Activities. Congratulations and good luck to both teams in today's semifinal game. Let's play ball.
All right, so Silver Creek about to take the field. And you look at their starting pitcher, Ryan Cease. That's the guy you got to focus in on if you're Fort Morgan right now. Lock in even when he's warming up at this point. Coach Langford has said that it doesn't start when he throws the first pitch of the game. It starts well before that. Well, they're definitely not going with their number 1. They know they've got a game to lose if they want to, if they need to, that is, because Silver Creek's guaranteed entrance into the state championship game. Cease is 4-1 with a 4.1 ERA as a right-hander. And again, he will face the following lineup for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Batting first, center fielder J.P. Hamer, Jacob Ortega, the right fielder, hits second. Shortstop Isaac Linker bats third. The cleanup hitters Nick Norris. Batting fifth, the pitcher Mateo Salcido. Javi Becerra, the left fielder, hits sixth. Nick Beltran, the second baseman, bats seventh. The catcher Connor Fajardo hits eighth. And Austin Apple, the third baseman, bats ninth. Let's see, over at first base is Tanner Reagan, the second baseman. Charlie Jackson Michael Wegleitner's at third. The shortstop is Cam Hassert. Around the outfield, Justin Swenson's in left. Center fielder Spencer Rich, and right is Chris Brown. Behind the plate is Rex Oliger once again. Ryan Cease is on the mound here for Silver Creek. Opening pitch is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance in Brush and Fort Morgan.
Leading off the top half of the first inning for the Fort Morgan Mustangs.
Here is J.P. Hamer.
Fielder number 10, J.T. Hamer.
And again, the Mustangs, being the visiting team, got to get off to a really good start. The pitch, fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Hamer. The winner, well, Silver Creek will move on, but Fort Morgan has to win to move on. Breaking balls upstairs, 2-0. Hamer hitting .300 in the state tournament. And again, Cease, I believe, is the number 3 pitcher on this team. And the 2-0. That's a fastball up and away again. 3 balls and no strikes. So the leadoff hitter here for Fort Morgan, J.P. Hamer. Olinger lays down the sign, probably a groove me fastball. And the pitch, that is up and away. He missed every pitch up high. Nothing was down in the zone. Here's Jacob Ortega.
Right fielder number 6, Jacob
Ortega, another right-handed hitter for Fort Morgan. Did not play in the first game of the tournament. However, is 4 out of 8 hitting .500. Had a big 2-run double against Pueblo West in the 8-7 loss last Friday in 8 innings. Short lead at first for JP, in the pitch swung on and lifted down the right field side. Headed out of play, giving chase is Chris Brown. And actually had a little bit of room, but very little. It just dropped foul. No balls and 1 strike.
Reminder fans, on any foul balls out of play, please return those down to the playing field. Thank you.
The question is now whether there will be 1 or 2 games tomorrow. If Silver Creek wins, they can beat Pueblo West at 10 a.m. and get it all over with. If Fort Morgan wins, Fort Morgan would play Pueblo West, which eliminated Holy Family 14-1. And then you play at 12:30 for the championship. And the offering, squaring to bunt, lays it down up the third base side. It's barehanded by Cease. Throw to first. It's in time. Retiring Jacob Ortega, but the sacrifice is successful. 1-3. And there's 1 down.
Now batting for Fort Morgan, shortstop number 8, Isaac Linker.
Isaac Linker nearly hit a home run in this tournament. Having a very good turn, hitting 5 out of 13 so far, just under .400 for the tourney. And the pitch, and that's in the dirt with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes here to Isaac Linker. Digging back in is Linker. Ryan Cease, the right-hander. I haven't seen a curveball yet. Everything's been either fastball or that changeup in the dirt. And the 1-0. And that's a fastball down the middle for a strike at the knees. It's 1-1. Boy, he brought some heat right there. Now, why does the umpires tell him to get back into the box? Well, I guess maybe you can step 1 foot out. And the pitch in the dirt again. That was either a changeup or a bender. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on, top of the first inning. An elimination game for the Mustangs here from Vibe Stadium in Colorado Springs. If Fort Morgan wins, they would equal a season high of 20 wins. The 2013 team won 20-1, but they did not get to the state tournament. And a 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside. 3-1. Cease has thrown 10 pitches, only 3 for strikes. Trying to establish his control now. 4-10 straight away, 350 down the lines here in Colorado Springs. And the 3-1 swung on and lifted into center field. Going back, still going back is Spencer Rich. He ranges under it, makes the catch. Hamer's going to tag. Strong throw to third. It'll be cut off. And there's 2 down for Nick Norris. And, they appealed at second. Hamer left too early. That happened against Pueblo West when Fort Morgan played them. Boy, I don't think that's a good call at all. Langford is not happy with that. Hamer's going to be ruled out. He's going to be ruled out. And that does it for the Mustangs. Here in the top of the first inning. Let's head to the bottom of the first. In a 4A state tournament, Fort Morgan does not score. And Silver Creek is coming to bat on B106 and B106.com.
Right fielder number 4.
Very controversial ending there to the top of the first inning. The appeal ruled J.P. Hamer out at second. He left too early. And just like that, a bad break for the Mustangs. And Charlie Jackson will lead off. And the pitch swung on line. That's a base hit into left field. On a ball out over the middle of the plate from the right-handed hitting Charlie Jackson. First hit by either side. Again, this team 26-2 going in.
Michael Wegleitner.
And here's the left-handed hitting third baseman, Michael Wegleitner. Mateo Salcido tossed a 5-hitter against Golden, and the pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Let's see if we get some numbers here on Wegleitner. Hitting just over 300, throw back to first. Nothing doing. Well, both teams had the leadoff man on. Hamer by walk and Jackson via the base hit. And the pitch swung on and tapped foul up the first base side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Michael Wegleitner. In the bottom of the first inning. From Vibe Stadium in Colorado Springs. Game number 29 for both teams. That's a deep season. The pitch. And the breaking ball's on the outside corner for a strike, thigh high. 1-2. Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Equitable Savings and Loan. Check them out today. That's Equitable Savings and Loan. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mustangs at double play depth here in the early going. The stretch and the offering. Swung on in line towards center field. Hamer to his right, and he's going to have to play it on a hop. If he can get it to second, there might be a chance, but there's not. Jackson was 3/4 of the way to second. And back-to-back hits here to begin the bottom of the first inning.
Now batting for Silver Creek, center fielder number 2,
Spencer Rich will now bat for the Raptors. Again, there's a reason they're 26-2. Spencer Rich has been insane the entire year, hitting .505. I mean, that's borders on T-ball numbers. Swinging a huge bat. Let's see what Mateo can throw him after base hits to begin the bottom of the first inning. The stretch and the offering scoring to bunt, and he takes it up and in on a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. I'm surprised they had him bunt, but then again, even if you're a big, strong power hitter, the small ball is still effective, but you're sacrificing it out with a .505 hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. Runners take their leads. Jackson and Wegleitner, the pitch squaring to bunt, lays it down. That's a beauty up the third baseline. That's going to be a base hit. Austin Apple retreated towards the bag. That was his ball. No way Mateo could make that play. That was misread by the third baseman, and the bases are loaded, and the Mustangs in trouble already in the bottom of the first inning.
Now batting for the Raptors, second baseman number 6, Justin Swenson.
Well, now you got to minimize the damage. Justin Swenson will now hit. Again, another one tearing it up, hitting .427. And Mateo out of the windup with the bases loaded. And the offering. And that's a strike with a slow curve. No balls and one strike. He's got to keep these Raptors off balance. The fastball is the pitch he might work off of, but the breaking ball's his out pitch. Here's the wind and the 0-1. Down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mustangs trying to stay tough here. Breaking ball swung on, grounded foul up the third base side, that is. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackson and Wegleitner with base hits. Spencer Rich with a bunt single. And all of a sudden, a situation that Mateo's got to try to wiggle his way out of. No score here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-2 to Justin Swenson, the right-handed hitter. The pitch swung on, grounded up the middle. The shortstop, second baseman Beltran, second for 1. And they're going to say it was on the transfer. He's out. Linker could not turn the double play. 4-6. Yeah, Linker dropped the ball right as I was stumbling all over the place. 4-6 on the fielder's choice. The run scores. That was a double play grounder. And Beltran fed him perfectly, but Linker dropped the ball, but there is 1 out. One down, give the RBI there to Swenson. And the pitch, runner goes up and away. The throw is going to be cut off by the shortstop Linker. It'll be a stolen base for Justin Swenson. Second and third, 1 out. And a 1-0 lead. Tanner Reagan at the plate, another right-handed hitter. Yeah, you got to turn plays like that. That was hit sharply to the second baseman Beltran. It looked like an easy double play, but it didn't happen. The pitch, breaking ball is fouled straight back. Count levels at 1-1. Well, you figured 1 or 2 runs, or even 3 runs is not going to win this game, especially with Silver Creek not throwing their number 1. Out of the windup with 2 in scoring position. Fajardo lays down the sign of pitch. Swooped up into foul territory, not a play. Over the first base dugout occupied by Silver Creek. And it's 1-2. Again, if you're just joining us, Silver Creek had 2 walk-off wins last week. They beat Wheat Ridge 5-4 and Pueblo West 6-5. So 2 of the 3 games have not been a breeze at all for these Raptors. 1-2, the offering swung on and popped foul, out of play. Count remains at 1-2. Here to Tanner Reagan. 1-0 Silver Creek on an RBI fielder's choice from Justin Swenson. He's now at second base. Wegleitner at third. And the offering. Curveball is drilled foul down the left field side. Mateo left that one up. Count stays at 1-2. Got to bring him down a little bit. Fort Morgan will concede a run for an out. The infield is playing back. Again, you wouldn't think 2 runs would beat this team either. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's 4 consecutive foul balls hit by the right-hander. The pitch low. Took something off of that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, it's a very light crowd for a game of this magnitude. The Mustangs are well supported, but not much else. Swung on and fouled to the backstop. One with a fastball up in the zone. It remains at 2-2. To Tanner Reagan. 3 base hits to begin the bottom of the first inning. Then that fielder's choice. And one was a bunt single by the number 3 hitter who was batting .505. So they can sting you in a variety of ways. Swung on, drilled towards left center field. Javi Baqueta to his left. Will make the catch. Got to get that ball back in. He does. And for some reason, Wegleitner was 5 steps off of third. They don't score on that. That should have been an easy sac fly. That's a base running mistake over there by Wegleitner.
Now batting for the Raptors.
Because that ball was definitely hit deep enough. Mustangs will take it. 2 down here for Cam Hassard, left-handed hitter. Yeah, and Javi does not have a really strong throwing arm. That should have been 2-0. Instead, still 1-0. Hassard hitting just over 360. The pitch swung on and grounded right side. Beltran dives a base hit into right field. 1 run scores. Runner around third. Throw towards the plate. And the throw now to second. The run scores and safe. Hassard is safe. It's a 2-run single. And it's a 3-0 lead for Silver Creek on the 2-run single by Hassard off the first pitch there thrown by Salcido.
Now batting for Silver Creek, designated hitter number 5, Alex.
Here's Alex Rich. Well, the Mustangs are going to have to rally here in Colorado Springs. Rich is hitting .278. Yeah, didn't get that pitch in tight enough, and Hassert was able to open up and drill it into right field. And the offering. Swung on, lined up the middle. That is a base hit. Hamer's going to charge. Hassert's around third. The throw towards the plate will be cut off by Norris, and it's 4-0. Ball gets away from Fajardo, but tracked down by Salcido. And now Fort Morgan in trouble in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 4-0 with back-to-back singles that plated runs.
Now batting for Silver Creek, right fielder number 10, Chris Brown.
Well, I hope today in that first game not a sign of things to come, because Pueblo West beat Holy Family, a 9 Tri-Valley team against a Tri-Valley team 14-1. And already Silver Creek, like Pueblo West, the home team in this game, has a 4-0 lead on the Mustangs. And in fact, Mateo has allowed as many hits in this inning as he did in the entire game against Golden, a 6-1 victory last Friday. The good news for the Mustangs, they still have 6 times at the plate. At least we hope they have 6 times. You can't let this get away too much longer, down by 4 with 2 down in the first. Here comes the number 8 hitter, Chris Brown. And the other thing is, how short of a leash does Mateo have? This is an elimination game for Fort Morgan, but certainly not for Silver Creek. Here's the stretch and pitch, and that is a ball a little bit above the letters. 1 ball and no strikes. To Chris Brown with a man at first. 4-0. Silver Creek the pitch. On the inside corner. Took something off it at the knees. It's 1-1. Short lead at first for Alex Rich. And the offering. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Fajardo. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Mateo's racking up the pitches, as you can imagine, in this frame. 24 already. And delivers. Curveball is lined towards center field. Hamer to his left comes in, and he makes the catch. And that finally ends the bottom of the first inning. However, Silver Creek scores 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the top of the second inning in 1 minute. It's Silver Creek 4, Fort Morgan nothing. You're listening to the 2019 4A State Tournament from Colorado Springs on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Colorado Springs. The Mustangs are down 4-0 here against Ryan Cease, the right-hander, as Silver Creek brought the bats in the first inning. 5 hits off Mateo.
First baseman number 12, Nick Norris.
It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for the Mustangs. Nick Norris leads off, hitting .444 in the tournament. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and in for the right-hander Cease. No balls and 1 strike. Laying down the sign is Olinger. And the offering. Breaking ball is right there. On the outer half knee level, it's 0-2. Norris, Salcido, and Baqueta for Fort Morgan in the top of the second inning, down 4-0 to Silver Creek. And the offering. Swung on and grounded to third on 3 hops. The throw to first will be low and dug out beautifully by the first baseman, Reagan, as Michael Wegleitner made the play. There's 1 down. That's when you know you're going well.
Now batting for the Mustangs.
You throw something right into the ground, and that was not an easy dig over there by Reagan. But he was able to pull it in. Here's one of 2 sophomores in the starting lineup. Mateo Salcido. Wind and pitch. Fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Mateo. And the offering. Swung on and drilled deep into left field down the line. That one towards the wall. It takes 1 hop. It's up against the wall. Salcedo's going to have to hold up at first. That's how hard that ball was hit. And the Mustangs have their first hit of the game. It bounced just shy of the warning track and took a huge hop off the fence. Thrown back in by Swenson.
Number 19, Alex Ortega.
Alex Ortega, with plenty of speed, will be the courtesy runner.
Now batting for the Mustangs, left fielder number 11, Javier Vaquero.
Here's Javi. Who can forget Javi's biggest hit of the year? That came against Palisade to tie that game. Javi hitting .222 in the state tournament. The pitch, swinging a foul off the catcher. Olinger, no balls and 1 strike. AC Ice proudly supports local high school sports. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink any time of the year. At any local grocery or convenience store near you, AC Ice. No balls and 1 strike. 1 out, 4-0 Silver Creek, top 2. And the pitch. That's a fastball for a strike, belt high. This is Morgan County's B106, KPRB. Brush Fort Morgan. Javi down in the count at 0-2 against the right-hander Ryan Cease. The stretch. And the throw back to first, nothing doing. Ortega back in. Well, if we can get more to swing the way Mateo did, because he drilled that ball, and there was no shot out there for the left fielder. 0-2 to Javi. Cease at the belt. Delivers. Fastball high. Ball 1. Strike 2 to Javier Vaquera. If Silver Creek wins, they play tomorrow at 10 a.m. against Pueblo West. If they lose, they would play the winner of the Fort Morgan Pueblo West game tomorrow at 10 a.m. Throw back to first, back in diving is Ortega. Mustangs already had a base running miscue in the first inning when it was ruled that J.P. Hamer left too early. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch. Breaking ball is tapped foul up the third base side. Count stays at 1-2. Yeah, you go 3-0, you've got the pitching all set, but again, University had the lead throughout their entire game today against Resurrection Christian of 4-1, 2 outs and a bases empty in the 7th, and they were the 3-0 team in 3A. 7 consecutive hitters reached, and they lost that game 6-5. And that all happened in the 7th inning. Javi awaits the 1-2. Here it comes. Swung on in line towards right field, but an easy play as the catch is made. And barely moving to make the play for the second out is Chris Brown. Here is second baseman Nick Beltran.
Second baseman number 21, Nick Beltran.
Beltran hitting .500 in the state tournament with a couple of walks. 4 runs on 5 hits for Silver Creek. No runs on 1 hit for Fort Morgan. The stretch by Cease in the pitch. And that fastball is a strike at the knees on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Now his first 10 pitches, he only threw 3 strikes. Now he's thrown 22. And 13 of the 22 have been strikes. So all over the strike zone. Beltran awaits the 0-1. Throw back to first. Before that, Ortega back in diving. Anytime you're playing this late in the season, late May, Fort Morgan's never played this late in their 68-year history of the program. And awaiting the offering. The pitch. Swung on and grounded to first on 3 hops. An easy play. Stepping in the bag is Tanner Reagan for the out. Mustangs are done in the top of the second. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We head to the bottom of the second in Colorado Springs in the 4A state tournament. Silver Creek 4, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com.
After 1.5, our score, Silver Creek Olinger.
Rex Olinger leads off for Silver Creek in the bottom of the second inning. 4-0 Raptors, 9-1-2. Olinger, Jackson, and Wegleitner against Salcedo. Swung on line foul off the end of the bat up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs had a valuable opportunity defensively for a 4-6-3 double play. Only got the lead out. And again, it's almost an extra out you give to Silver Creek. And even though it was not an error, they came through with a 2-run single and an RBI single, all with 2 down later in the frame. See if Mateo can recover from that shaky first inning. The wind, the pitch, and the breaking ball's a beauty. On the inner half, thigh high, it's 0-2 to Rex Olinger. Fajardo hits that sign from the dugout, lays it down. And the pitch coming to Olinger. Outside with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the first hitter in the bottom of the second inning. Mateo turns and delivers. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat on the ground, the right side. And that's off of Norris to Beltran. Throws to first to the pitcher covering. And then colliding with Salcedo was the hitter Olinger. And the ball nearly went into the dugout. I don't know what ruling we're going to have there. It went off of Norris to Beltran. That is going to be an error on Beltran on the throw then, a little bit too high. But then when he was rounding first, Mateo went down. So an excellent play by Beltran getting to that baseball off the deflection, but then a airmail Salcedo, and the Mustangs have committed the first error of the game.
Now batting for the Raptors, right fielder number 4, Charlie.
Well, it's a very odd beginning to this game. Fort Morgan's got to stop the bleeding. Mateo got over there, but now here's Charlie Jackson with a courtesy runner at second. Again, that's a couple of plays that could have been made defensively in this game. And the pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs. Jackson singled his first time up and scored as part of the 4-run first inning. And I don't know how high that throw was to Mateo, maybe just a tad high. I think it was catchable, but his momentum was still going towards the bag, and it looked like he couldn't get that glove up. But the error on the second baseman, the pitch, swung on and grounded foul up the third base side towards the Mustang dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, it got out of hand earlier today between Pueblo West and Holy Family. That game was over like in an hour and 10 minutes. And Pueblo West won in 4.5, 14-1, eliminating one Tri-Valley team. Silver Creek trying to do the same. The pitch swung on and fisted foul to the screen. 1-2. Yeah, when you're off for as long as both teams have been off, sometimes one team comes out a little bit flat. And that's what's happening here. The pitch. That's bounced in. Gets away from Fajardo. Picks it up. Throws to third. The tag and safe. The throw is up the third base side. It's an excellent slide over there by the courtesy runner to the outside of the bag as Apple applied the tag. Man on third with nobody out. That's a wild pitch against Mateo. Charge to Mateo. Well, now the infield's going to play in. Even though we're only in the second, 4-0 Silver Creek. There's the wine and offering. Way outside. Three balls and 2 strikes. The heck is that sound? That is...
Working on the concession stand.
Yeah, well. 3-2 here. The offering. Up and into Jackson. He walks. And again, I don't know how much longer they're going to stick with Mateo. I mean, certainly the first batter was not his fault. But when you have first and third with nobody out down by 4, you've got to hold this team in check.
Michael Wegleitner.
Michael Wegleitner singled. First time up. Runners at the corners and the pitch. Runner goes, and that's down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, there's no doubt that Silver Creek, check that, Pueblo West wants a shot at Silver Creek after Silver Creek walked them off, but Fort Morgan wants a shot at Pueblo West after Pueblo West walked them off last week. The Offering up and in with a curveball. 2 balls and no strikes on pitch number 37 from Mateo Salcido. Silver Creek is threatening to break this game open in the second. Swung on and tapped up the first base side. Norris has got it. He's going to go to the plate. Why did he do that? There's no chance to get him out. It's a fielder's choice. The run scores, and it's now 5-0. That was not a smart play. I mean, Nick knows it now. He had no shot. I mean, 0. You get the easy out there, and you get the RBI. It's 5-0.
Number 2, Spencer Rich.
Yeah, Fort Morgan now, they're showing panic at this point. Yeah, that's a lot of panic right there. There was no, in fact, when he threw it home, the base runner had already stepped on home plate. The pitch squaring to bunt, laid down the third base side, it trickles foul. No balls and 1 strike to Spencer Rich. Sounds like they're doing maintenance work around here. 5-0, Silver Creek, and the Mustangs still have to record the first out of this second inning. And you got to be smart here. There could have been 2 outs in this inning easily. Instead, a run across with 2 on. Got to help out your pitcher. No balls and 1 strike to Rich. Rich did bunt his first time up, and it was a base hit. The stretch. And the wheel plays on, throw to second. Beltran is covering. They've got the runner in a rundown, throwing back to third, and Linker will run him back and apply the tag for the out. That will go 1-4-6 on the pickoff of Charlie Jackson. Any way you can get it. Any way at this point. However, Wegleitner did get to second, so a runner in scoring position, but now there's 1 down. And no balls and 1 strike on Spencer Rich. And now they're going to walk him intentionally because he was hitting .505 going into the game. And even better after that first at bat.
Now batting for Silver Creek, second baseman number 6, Justin Swinson.
B&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you on Ensign Street. B&B Appliance in Fort Morgan. Justin Swenson hit that ground ball to Beltran. It was only a 4-6, even though it was a double play grounder. But they couldn't turn it on the back end. He now steps in against Mateo. The stretch by Salcido. And the pitch and the breaking ball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 to Swenson. At second is Wegleitner. Spencer Rich at first. 5-0 Raptors the pitch. And that is low with a changeup. Below the knees, it's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. Got to come in with 1 right now. The pitch. That's a strike with a fastball on the outside corner, thigh high. Ball 2, strike 1 to Justin Swenson. Again, hit 1 to his shortstop of the second baseman and turn 2 here and get out of this. The pitch way outside, backhanded nicely by Fajardo. 3-1. Haven't seen too much baseball today following a very quick game in the opener. And if the Mustangs cannot get out of this one, this could be a quick trip as well. Swung on, grounded to short. Linker's got it, steps in the bag for 1, throws to first. That's a 6-3 double play. And the Mustangs get out of it there. 1 run on 1 hit. There was an error and a man left. We head to the third in the 4A state tournament. Silver Creek 5, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com.
Leading off the top half of the third inning for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, catcher number 7, Connor Fajardo.
Fajardo, of course, had a monster game against Cheyenne Mountain. He went 3 for 3 with 3 ribbies. And the pitch. Fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. Swung on, grounded right side to his left, gobbling up that baseball. And side-arming to first is Charlie Jackson, who throws to first for the out. 1 down. Good defense so far here by Silver Creek.
Now batting for the Mustangs.
Here's Austin Apple.
Number 2, Austin Apple.
Well, they're putting the ball in play, but only have that 1 hit from Salcedo. The pitch. Fastball, a strike. Bell tied down the middle. It's 0-1. Here to Austin Apple, the number 9 hitter, the offering. And that curveball's up and in. The one thing with Cease, he works quickly too. Really fast. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on in line down the right field line. That's trouble. That's going to drop for a base hit. Austin Apple has Fort Morgan's 2nd hit, as it was flagged down in right field off the hop by Chris Brown. All right, now you got to come up with some back-to-back damage here.
Fort Morgan. Center fielder number 10, J.P. Hamer.
Hamer walked and then was ruled to have left second base early after a fly ball that was hit off the bat of Isaac Linker. It turned into a 3-batter inning in the dirt with a curveball, 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan looking for any life right now. B&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you on Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. B&B Appliance. Short lead for Apple. And the 1-0. And he takes a fastball for a strike right down the middle. And the count levels at 1-1. This is the final weekend of baseball in Colorado for the 2019 high school season. 3 classifications in action, 3A in Greeley, 4A here in Colorado Springs, and 5A from All City Stadium in Denver. 2 games today at each classification, either 1 or 2 tomorrow. Throw back to first again, Apple back in diving. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 3rd. Silver Creek 5, Fort Morgan nothing, with 4 runs in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. Hamer awaits the 1-1 pitch, and here it is. Fastball is a strike. Oh, that looked like it was below the knees. Jack, a little bit below the knees. I thought it was.
And outside.
Yeah. I mean, if it got the outside corner there, it was by a smidgen. 1-2. Apple with a 1-step advantage. Ryan Cease, the right-hander, delivers outside with a fastball. Looked like the same location, just a little bit more elevation. 2-2. On deck, it's Jacob Ortega. Now a 2-step advantage for Apple. He goes, swung in a foul right at the plate. A hard swing there by JP on the breaking ball. Stays alive at 2-2. Now, Hamer and Linker, 2 seniors, have really been the glue to this team's success. But they're not alone. Lots of others have stepped in. Awaiting the 2-2. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on and lifted into deep right center field, but Spencer Rich closing the gap, makes the catch. Apple back to first, 2 down. Again, Hamer hit it a long way, but it had way too much air under it. And Rich flagged it down. That'll send up Jacob Ortega. He had the sack bunt in the first inning. I got to check out this Silver Creek team defensively. What have they done this year? Because they don't look like they commit too many errors. I guess in your 26-2, that should be the case. Fastball to strike. Snap throw to first. Back in standing is Apple. Well, yeah, they do have, I got to read that correctly. Looks like a lot more errors than I thought. The pitch. And the breaking ball down and away. 1-1. Yeah, I'm reading that right. They've got 66 errors in 28 games. And the pitch swung on line, and that is fair down the right field line. Advancing to third will be Apple. Ortega's going to have to hold up at first with a 2-out single. Now the ball gets away, thrown down the left field line. Ortega headed for second to throw there to slide, and he's going to be out, but the run does score. Oh, that's another base running mistake by the Mustangs. You can't do that, but they do get a run. It does score as Fort Morgan gets a run on 2 hits. There was 1 error, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the bottom of the third. It's Silver Creek 5, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com.
On 2 hits.
Pitches up and into Tanner Reagan to begin the bottom of the third inning, 5-1. Ortega had a base hit, then the ball was thrown away. Apple scored, and that's up and in, 2-0. But then Ortega took off for second. He was cut down at second. Reagan, line to left. His first time up, 5, 6, and 7. And the pitch, down and away. I mean, you got to stop him here. You can't allow another run. You've already made it a 5-1 game after what we just saw there. And the pitch, that is on the outside corner for a strike with a fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike. They've got Fort Morgan up there with 2 errors. That might have been on the same play. Swing and a miss on a changeup at the knees. 3-2 to Tanner Reagan. Righty against righty, and the offering. And the curveball called strike 3, inside corner, thigh high. Reagan knew it. He sits down for out number 1. Cam Hassard had a big 2-run single
Now batting for the Raptors, shortstop
in that 4-run first inning.
Cam Hassard.
The left-handed hitter now steps in for Silver Creek. Nice job of Mateo coming back from a 3-0 count. And the pitch swung on line towards left center field. That's trouble. That's going to roll towards the wall, I should say. Hassard around first. He's into second with a 1-out double. Nice job of going the other way by Cam Hassard. And for Silver Creek, that's their 6th hit. Here's Alex Rich. He had a single and scored a run on that base hit in the first.
Number 5, Alex Rich.
Yeah, these guys can just swing it. They can really swing it. For Mateo, that was his first strikeout of the game. The offering in the dirt, scooped up by Fajardo. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Fort Morgan was down 4-1 against Cheyenne Mountain, down to their final 9 outs when they scored 6 runs in the 5th inning. And the pitch. That breaking ball's up and in, 2-0. Pitch number 53 for Mateo. Through 2 1/3 innings. Sophomore gets a sign. Looks back, and the offering. Swung on and grounded left side, headed for left field. It's a dot by Linker, base hit. Javi comes up with a baseball, but that's going to be an RBI single for Alex Rich. Scoring is Cam Hassard. Silver Creek gets the run back. It's 6-1 in the 3rd. Hit number 7 for the Raptors. And that ball had eyes, and here comes Josh Langford. That might be it. Yeah, let's see what he decides right now. That's going to be it. Nick Castaneda. No, that's Alex Ortega coming out of the dugout. And Ortega's going to go to right. Jacob Ortega will now pitch. I think those are the only changes here. Mateo more than likely will take a breather on the bench, and he will. Let's take a 1-minute break. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Silver Creek 6, Fort Morgan 1. You're listening to the 2019 4A State Tournament from Colorado Springs on B106 and B106.com. Well, Mateo Salcido unfortunately couldn't stop the bleeding there.
For Silver Creek.
This is just a team that really bashes the baseball. So Alex Ortega comes into the game to play right. Jacob Ortega goes from right to the mound. 6-1 with 1 out and a man at first. After the second run scoring single by Alex Rich, Chris Brown lined to center. The stretch by Jacob, and the offering runner goes. Fastball's a strike. The throw to second is going to be high and late. Rich steals the bag. As Beltran applied the tag, had that throw been a little bit lower, there's a shot there. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Chris Brown. Off of second is Rich. Jacob looks back. And the offering squaring to bunt, lays it down third base side. Jacob's going to glove it. Throw to first with Beltran covering and in time. Boy, Beltran nearly got over there a little bit late, but he was just in time. Sacrifice is successful there, 1-4.
Catcher number 3, Rex Olinger.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Brett Olinger. Olinger hit that ball that went off of Norris to Beltran. Salcido went to cover. And then Beltran threw a little bit high. I think they ruled 2 errors on that play, one on Norris, and then the other on Beltran. The pitch and a check swing. He went on the changeup, down and away. It's 0-1. At third is Alex Rich, and Jacobs out of the windup, down 6-1. The offering, fastball just outside. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Silver Creek has scored in each of the first 3 innings. 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Fastball, where did that miss? Must have been a little bit up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. 7 hits for the Raptors, 3 for the Mustangs. And the 2-1. Check swing again. He had to have gone again. He did. On a fastball that was on the inside corner, it's 2-2. Mustang fans are cheering this team on like they're up by 5. Got to give them all the confidence in the world. The pitch, and that's down and away off the glove of Fajardo. Here comes the runner. Throw to Ortega, the tag. Safe! Oh, just in there was Alex Rich in a wild pitch. Silver Creek leads 7-1. Boy, that was close. That was very close. But it's now 7-1. And a 3-2 count here on Olinger. Oh, I thought they had him there for a second. That was a bang-bang play at home plate. 3 balls and 1 strike on Olinger with the bases empty. And the offering. And that ball nearly hit him. It's a walk. That'll bring up Charlie Jackson. Jackson with a single and a walk, so they're already around the lineup for a 3rd time.
Now batting for the Raptors, right fielder number 4, Charlie Jackson.
Courtesy runners Charlie Belcher. All right, so Jackson steps in. For Morgan, they've been out there a long time on defense, each of the 3 innings. That's a strike with the off-speed in the outer half at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Jackson, again, his 3rd plate appearance in as many innings. Not a good sign there. Throw back to first, back in standing is Belcher. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, you'd think this would be an off day with all this drilling going on here. And the pitch swung on and fouled on the breaking ball to the backstop. It's 0-2.
Reminder fans, for all foul balls out of play, please turn those back down to the playing field.
0-2 to Jackson. With 2 across already in the 3rd. Jacob at the belt, 2-step lead at first. He comes home outside with a fastball, snap throw to first, and it's dug out there by Norris in a hop. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Western Engineering Consultants, strong commitment to their clients' needs, set them apart. Get your project started the right way. Western Engineering Consultants. Swung on and lifted into left center field. J.P. Hamer to his right will make the grab, and that will end the third inning. However, Silver Creek capitalizes again. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Let's head to the 4th inning in Colorado Springs. The score, Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 1. This is Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com.
Fort Morgan Mustang errors and 1 runner left.
Swung on and popped up on the right side off the 1-0 pitch to Linker to begin the 4th inning. And the catch is made by the second baseman, Charlie Jackson, and short right fielder's 1 down.
Now batting for the Mustangs, first baseman number 12, Nick Norris.
7-1 Silver Creek. As we are in the top of the 4th inning, Mustangs staring elimination in the face. The pitch, fastball, is up and away to the junior first baseman, Nick Norris. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the wine and the offering. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball up and in. Norris is 0 for 1, grounded to third. Ryan Cease has thrown just 41 pitches through 3 1/3. Has been in control here for Silver Creek. The offering swung on and chopped to third on 2 big hops. Wegleitner throws low to first, and that one's dug out again by Reagan. No wonder he plays first. 2 down. It's almost like he's doing it on purpose. Here's Alex Ortega hitting in Salcedo's spot.
Fort Morgan, number 19, Alex Ortega.
Mateo did have a base hit his only time up. Ortega digs in with 2 outs and the bases empty in the 4th inning. 7-1 Raptors. And the offering. Fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Javi Baqueta waits to hit next, but Fort Morgan needs a major rally. Swung on, lined on 1 hop. What a backhanded play at short. Long throw to first. Low, and that skips off the first baseman's glove. Reagan, I think that might have actually got there on the fly. Should have made that catch off a strong throw by Cam Hassert. That'll be an error, the second of the game for Silver Creek. I'm going to score that on the first baseman, Reagan. I think he should have had that. It's like there was a hole in his glove. There's Javi Baqueta. Now, Alex deserved a base hit. He hit the ball so hard, but if that play is made at first, it's an out by about 5 feet. Baqueta popped out his first time up. Long pause in the pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. Should be an easy flip to second. It is. From Hassert to Charlie Jackson. And just like that, the Mustangs are retired in the 4th inning. Quick work made by Ryan Cease. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. 3.5 innings complete. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Colorado Springs. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And it's still a 7-1 lead for Silver Creek. They've scored in every inning. And the pitch. Fastball is down and away to Michael Wegleitner. Left-handed hitting third baseman. He's 1 for 2. Jacob delivers. Check swing low. 2 balls and no strikes. Silver Creek has stranded 3 runners. The Mustangs have left 2 on base. Swung on and lined and backhanded by Beltran. A swift play to his right. He throws to first for the out. That's an all-star play at second on a shot. Ticketed for right center. There's 1 down. 1 down in the 4th inning for Spencer Rich. Rich had a bunt single and was intentionally walked. From the right side, Jacob comes home. Breaking ball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Fort Morgan's lone run came in the 3rd. Jacob Ortega had a base hit, then the ball was thrown away, allowing Apple to score. Swung on and lined into left field. And that is base hit number 8 for Silver Creek and the 2nd For Spencer Rich, it's a 1-out base knock in the fourth.
Now batting for Silver Creek,
Justin Swenson has hit into 2 fielder's choices. He is 0 for 2. Fort Morgan just wants to get this into 7 innings. I mean, that's the goal every game, obviously, unless you're the team with a big lead. But we saw what happened with Holy Family today. They were eliminated very quickly, 14-1 in 4.5 innings by Pueblo West. Throw back to first, and the tag applied, but just back in. Rich looked like he was going to take off for second prematurely. 1 out, 1 on, 7-1 Silver Creek. The stretch by Ortega, looks home and delivers. Change up, a strike on the inside corner. Thigh high, it's 0-1. By the way, the Mustang run scored in that 3rd inning brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. They work with the community to make sure there are jobs for the members of the communities they're in. Cargill Meat Solutions. The pitch, runner goes, swung on and lifted down the left field side. Baqueta along the line into foul territory. Reaches out, makes the catch, and slams into the fence. Then throws it off his backside, and the runner back to first. And let's see if Javi's okay. He's getting up limping. I think he might have jammed that right ankle. But we've had 2 tremendous defensive plays in this 4th inning, and there's 2 down, but Javi now to a knee. He slammed in hard up against that fence in foul territory, but he's going to stay in the game. There's no way he's coming out. No way. Now he's getting some support there for some other players. I think here comes a member of the on-site medical team out here just checking on Javi. But we've had 2 outstanding plays in this inning. One by Beltran, the other by Baqueta. Yeah, he slammed into that fence pretty hard and pretty much at full speed. And it knocked him back. And the fact that he made the catch, fell off his backside, just heaved it back to the infield, and the runner had to go back to first. When, quite frankly, Rich probably should have tagged up because if the ball's in foul territory, if it's not made, then it doesn't matter anyway whether you're 3/4 of the way down the line, but Javi's okay. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. How do they have Silver Creek with 10 hits? Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, I've only got 8. They've got Fort Morgan with 4 hits. I've got them with 3. I know I'm keeping this as I go along.
First baseman number 15, Tanner.
Well, either way, here's Tanner Regan, who's lined out and struck out. Regan is 0 for 2. The stretch by Jacob Ortega. Throw back to first, back in standing is Rich. Silver Creek has never won a state title in baseball. Neither has Fort Morgan. But the Raptors have not only a 26-2 record, they're on a 20-game winning streak going into this with a pitch. Swung on and grounded foul towards the Mustang dugout. On the third base side, count is at 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Tanner Regan. It's been a nice, lengthy season for both teams getting to this point. The stretch. Throw back to first, back in standing is Rich. And Jacob just trying to settle in since coming into the game 1 inning ago for Mateo Salcido. We'll get to the line on him momentarily. 3-step lead. And that's in the dirt to throw to second as the runner goes to slide, and he's in there. It's an easy stolen base. Spencer Rich had a great jump. Well, that's the other thing. Not only can this team hit, they can run. All right, let's get the book here on Mateo. Mateo Salcido went 2 1/3 innings through 54 pitches, allowed 7 runs, 6 earned, 7 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Actually, 3 walks, 1 intentional, and the changeup is above the letters. Ball 2, strike 1 to Tanner Reagan, the number 5 hitter in the Silver Creek lineup. Jacob steps off. Yeah, I think he's really concerned about that runner at first. At second, I should say. But at this point, you get the out, it'll be your first scoreless inning. Runner goes to third, swung on and lifted down the right field side. Ortega giving chase along the line in foul territory, and they run out of room. And it's just a loud and long strike at 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right, I mentioned some of the averages for Silver Creek. They came into this game hitting .377 as a team. That's about 50 points higher than Fort Morgan. That'll make a big difference. 2-2 here to Tanner Reagan with a man at second. He awaits the pitch. Swung on and, well, no pitch. It's going to be a balk. A balk on Ortega did not come to a set. So to third is the base runner. And he actually threw him a really good pitch. That was a little tapper off the end of the bat. Umpire checking the baseball. Well, now you don't have to worry about the base runner. You just go after this hitter because he's at third anyway. And Jacob will operate out of the windup. Bottom of the 4th inning. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 1. Fajardo lays down the sign and the offering. Swung on and lifted on the right side. Nick Norris, the first baseman in foul territory, makes the catch. And the Mustangs, for the first time in the game, keep the Raptors off the board. They did get a hit, and a man left at third. Let's head to the 5th inning in Colorado Springs to score. It's Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 1. You are listening to the 2019 4A State Tournament on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs trail the Silver Creek Raptors 7-1. As we move to the 5th inning here in Colorado Springs, it'll be Nick Beltran, Connor Fajardo, and Austin Apple against right-hander Ryan Cease, who's thrown just 45 pitches. And he's just pitching to contact. That's all he's doing. He's allowed 4 hits. He does not have a strikeout in the game. So here we go. Beltran grounded to first, his first time up. And the bottom of the lineup did a big job last week against Cheyenne Mountain. Big time getting them started. The left-handed hitting second baseman awaits the pitch from Cease, and here it is. And he squares to bunt and misses it altogether. Yeah, he was running up the first baseline. He needed to stay there just a little bit more. No balls and 1 strike. Thought he could lay that down, but it didn't work. And the 0-1 swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. Boy, threw him a changeup way out in front. No balls and 2 strikes to Beltran. Let's see if we can get something going in the top of the 5th inning. Wine and offering. Curveball swung on, grounded right side. Another grounded to the first baseman. Pitcher covering for the out. That's a close play as Beltran got down the line. But Reagan to Cease, or Cease, I should say, for out number 1. That'll send up Connor Fajardo. Yeah, I'm looking at Fort Morgan with 4 hits up there, but let's see. Ortega had 1. Salcedo 1. Apple 1. I don't see another one that should be up there. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Connor grounded to second his first time up. And the offering in the dirt with a fastball. Yeah, Silver Creek, if they hold on, they're going to have to lose twice tomorrow in order to be denied the 4A state championship. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the offering. Curveball is in the dirt, 2-1. Mustang fans getting excited with every pitch that falls in their favor. Even a ball. It takes a little bit to chip away, a little bit at a time. And the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, line towards center field, coming on and letting it bounce right in front of him is Spencer Rich. It's a base hit for Connor Fajardo, a 1-out hit in the 5th. Now, I've got that as Fort Morgan's 4th hit. They've got it number 5 up there. Again, I don't know what the other hit was. Here comes Noah Getman, the courtesy runner.
Austin Apple.
Austin Apple had a base hit and scored. If you can get Austin on, you got JP and Jacob coming up. Fort Morgan could certainly chip away in this inning. Straight up at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. This is Morgan County's B106, KPRB Brush, Fort Morgan. I'm John Beltran, live from Vibe Stadium in Colorado Springs. And the pitch. And that's a check swing. I don't think he went. They're going to appeal. He did not go. 1 ball and no strikes and a fastball up and in. Silver Creek leads Fort Morgan 7-1. This is an elimination game for Fort Morgan. Silver Creek looking to go 4-0 in this tournament. Pueblo West beat Holy Family earlier today, 14-1. Fastball is a strike. On the outside corner, belt high, it's 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 on, 1 out in the 5th inning. Austin Apple has got a couple of hits in this tournament, including one today. On that left side of the rubber is Ryan Cease. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Getman. Yeah, they got to the Mustangs early with 4 runs in the 1st. There was a big 2-run single in there with 2 outs by Cam Hessert. Long pause. And the pitch. Fastball off the glove of the catcher, Rex Olinger, 2-1. Gorgeous day in Colorado Springs, and temperature about 70, 71 degrees. The Mustangs need to heat it up at the plate. Apple awaits, and the offering. Swing and a miss and a ball down and in. That might have been ball 3. That tied him up big time. 2-2. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. 2-2 pitches coming here to Austin Apple. Breaking ball is lifted towards shallow right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Getman's got to get the second, and he does. He had to hold up. Boy, Austin Apple's now 2 for 2, and he just reached out and lofted it into shallow right field. Well, Fort Morgan, for the first time in the game, has back-to-back hits.
J.P. Hamer.
Here's J.P. Hamer. Don't forget that Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained in the latest surgical procedures. Explore what procedures are possible in your hometown. Colorado Plains Medical Center. The pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs to Hamer. The Mustangs are trying to breathe some new life here. 1 ball and no strikes. JP walked and popped to center. Getman at second. Apple at first. Hamer awaits the pitch, and he takes a fastball up and away. He walked on 4 pitches in the first. It's 2-0. If you can make this a 7-3 or 7-4 ball game, you're going to get Silver Creek a little bit nervous. Let's see if JP's taking on the 2-0. He swings and misses at a fastball. It's 2-1. Yeah, he was swinging all the way there. Again, JP leads the team in home runs. But it's hard to hit one out of here. Mateo Salcido nearly did it in the 1st inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on and foul straight back. And it's 2-2. That was headed right in our direction. Yeah, Jack Goddard's blood pressure went up a little bit. 2-2 to JP. The stretch by Cease. And the pitch. Swung on and driven deep into center field. That one's way back towards the track, and it's off the bottom of the wall. Around third is Getman. He will score. Here comes Austin Apple. He's being sent to the plate. The throw, he slides, he's in there. It's a 2-run double for J.P. Hamer. And the Mustangs make this a 7-3 game in the 5th inning. Looked like a hanging breaking ball, and Hamer got all of it. Here come the Mustangs. And we'll have a visit to the hill for the first time in the game. As Ortega will step in. Fort Morgan not going down without a fight. They're down to their final 8 outs. But the last 3 have reached 2 singles and a double. I would assume that Cease is still going to stay in the game. Bank of Colorado is the only bank dedicated to help you make the most of living here. That is, they're not just a bank in Colorado. Bank of Colorado, proud supporter of local sports and academics. All right, Jacob had a sac bunt and a single, so he's 1 for 1. All right, no reason to believe here that Ortega can do what he's done so far in this game against this right-hander.
Jacob Ortega.
Again, Cease came into the game with a 4.1 ERA. And now the Mustangs starting to get to him with 3 hits in a row in the 5th inning. Remember that Fort Morgan rallied from 4 down against Palisade down to their final 5 outs in the regionals. The pitch swung on, line towards right field. A long run for Rich to his left, and he's going to make that catch. Hamer has to hold. Boy, that's a great catch in the gap there by Spencer Rich, and there's 2 down. That was nearly an extra bagger for Jacob Ortega. Isaac Linker has popped out twice.
Now batting for the Mustangs, shortstop number 8, Isaac Linker.
It was a 7-1 lead going into the inning. Isaac can cut the lead in half with a base hit. The pitch. And the bender's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. So the senior shortstop, Isaac Linker. Still classified as a senior athletically, even though he's graduated. Graduation seemed like it was a month ago. And the offering. And that bounces in, blocked by Olinger, 2-0. And watch out, because the power hitting Nick Norris, second on the team in home runs, with 3 is on deck. 2 balls and no strikes to Isaac Linker. 7-3 Silver Creek in the 5th inning. And the offering. Fastball, a strike down the middle. Knee level, it's 2-1. Singles by Fajardo and Apple, a double by Hamer, scored 2 runs. And the offering. Swung on in line towards right center field. Base hit. Here comes JP. He's going to score. It's an RBI single for Isaac Linker. The Mustangs are to within 3. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4 in the 5th inning. In this inning, 4 seniors have delivered.
Now batting for
Here's junior first baseman Nick Norris.
Number 12, Nick Norris.
Nick has grounded to third twice. Well, again, you have cut the lead in half as opposed to what it was going into the inning. Pitching and defense is what you need once this half inning expires. Conversation between Olinger and Cease concludes. Now Norris steps in. Linker with a 2-step advantage at first. Stretch by Cease. And the pitch. And the breaking ball down and away. Yeah, it would not be characteristic of Fort Morgan to go away that easily. And they have not. They have not. Silver Creek can swing it, but so can the Mustangs. In fact, Silver Creek, according to the board, only has 2 more hits, even though I've got it differently. 1-0 pitch. Fastball at the knees for a strike. It was dropped there by Olinger. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alex Ortega's got 2 home runs this year. He waits to hit next. And those 2 home runs came late in the season, including one in the regionals against Pueblo County. The offering. Curveball is low. 2-1 here to Nick Norris. Critical pitch coming up in this sequence for Ryan Cease. He's up to 70 in the game. And I'm sure they've got one of their aces ready to close this game if they need to. Norris awaits. And the offering. Fastball is outside. 3-1. Ortega could be the tying run if he gets up there. He would be the tying run if he gets up there in this inning. 3 balls and 1 strike to Nick Norris. Yeah, it looks like Coach has him swing away here. Has him swinging away if it's in there. And the 3-1 offering. Here it comes. That's a fastball down the middle for a strike. Ball 3, strike 2. Now Linker will be taking off from first with a pitch. So anything hit in the gap could actually score Isaac. 3-2. Olinger lays down the sign. Linker not even being held at first. And the offering, swing and a miss and a fastball up and away. Norris strikes out. But the Mustangs score 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. To the bottom of the 5th we go in 1 minute. It's Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4 on B106 and B106.com. From Vibe Stadium in Colorado Springs, let's head to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mustangs trail the Silver Creek Raptors 7-4. But Fort Morgan was down 7-1 before tallying 3 runs. This guy's been a headache. Cam Hassard, a 2-run single and a double. The pitch. Breaking ball, a strike on the outside corner from Jacob Ortega at the knees. It's 0-1. 6, 7, and 8. You wouldn't know this guy's a 6-hitter. He has crushed the ball twice. The pitch. Swung on and drilled in the air to right field. Ortega going back, still going back. He makes the catch. He misjudged it initially. Spun to his right, back to his left, but there's 1 down. 1 down for Alex Rich. Another headache.
Designated hitter number 5, Alex Rich.
Alex Rich is 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Right-handed hitter for Silver Creek. The offering, squaring to bunt, lays it down, but that's way too hard. Ortega's got it, sidearms to first, 2 down. That's the way the Mustangs want it. Just like that. Chris Brown is 0 for 1. Lined out in a sac bunt. The momentum is going now Fort Morgan's way. Get a delicious treat, breakfast or lunch option at Willow Coffee and Bake Shop. It'll make the day better. 921 Edison Street in Brush. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul. Out of play off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. The board officially has 7 runs on 10 hits for Silver Creek, 4 runs on 8 hits for Fort Morgan. Both teams with 2 errors. Jacob Ortega looking to make this a very quick inning. And the offering. And the curveball is up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down and the base is empty. The Fort Morgan Mustangs in the Final Four for the 2nd time in school history. Swung on, grounded off the end of the bat to second baseman Beltran. Charges gloves, sidearms to first for the out. And was the ball dropped? It was dropped by Norris. That's going to be an error on the first baseman. The throw was right there. Off his glove. I don't know. That throw was right there by Beltran. And Norris had to go off his glove. It'll be an error. 3rd error by Fort Morgan. He must have not looked that in. That's a perfect sidearm throw. And the runner to second as the ball went into the dugout. Oh, man, that's a killer. It won't be a killer if Brown doesn't score. The pitch swung on and lifted down the left field line. Baqueta to his right, still running. He's going to make the one-handed catch. And Baqueta bails out Nick Norris to end the inning. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. 5 complete in this 4A state tournament from Colorado Springs. The score, Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4 on B106 and B106.com. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4. The Mustangs have kept Silver Creek off the board in the last 2 innings. And meanwhile, are creeping a little bit closer. Ryan C. still on the mound for Silver Creek. They'll face Alex Ortega, Javi Baqueta, and Nick Beltran, 5, 6, and 7. Does Fort Morgan have another rally left in them? I'd have to imagine that if Cease gets into trouble in this inning, that somebody will come to close. In fact, there's activity in the right field bullpen for Silver Creek.
Alex Ortega.
Ortega reached on an error on the first baseman, Tanner Regan. Mustangs looking to continue what they did in the 5th inning. The pitch, fastball bounces away to the senior Ortega. The seniors have played a big role today. Austin Appelis 2 hits, Fajardo with 1, Lenker with an RBI single, Hamer with a 2-run double. And the pitch swung on and fouled at the plate on a fastball tailing in. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. The season began in early March for the Mustangs against Brush. They had a losing record at a few points early on in the season. The pitch, curveball, strike 2. At the knees, down the middle, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But then Fort Morgan got going late in the season and peaked here in the state tournament. The pitch, fastball is upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alex Ortega to lead off the 6th inning. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4. And the right-hander fires. Breaking ball is in the dirt. 3-2. Again, I think he might be 1 batter away from seeing the Raptors go to the bullpen. Big pitch coming up to Ortega. Here is the 3-2. Swung on, that is popped up into center field. Spencer Rich comes in a few steps to make the grab. And there's 1 down. 1 down for Baqueta.
Left fielder number 11, Javier Baquera.
Boy, that was a good pitch by Cease. He had Alex a little bit out in front. Baqueta has popped to right and grounded into a 6-4 fielder's choice. 0 for 2 is Javi. The pitch, fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Earlier today, Pueblo West ended Holy Family season 14-1. Mustangs do not want to be the second Tri-Valley team to be eliminated today. 1-0. Swung on, grounded right side. That's solid second baseman Jackson will sling it to first for the out. 2 down. Nick Beltran has grounded to first twice. And his 4 hits in the state tournament have gone to left field.
Second baseman number 21, Nick Beltran.
Well, Nick has the option of bunting too. Third baseman Wegleitner's behind the bag. The offering swung on and fouled straight back. Tied him up with a fastball. It's 0-1.
Fans, please return all foul balls back down to the playing field. We're good.
Beltran's had at least 1 base hit in every game of the tournament, but is hitless today. And he awaits the offering, and that bounces in. 1 ball and 1 strike to the number 7 hitter, the sophomore second baseman. When I say classes, they've all completed their sophomore, junior, senior year. And the 1-1, squaring to bunt, but he missed it. Oh boy, they threw him a curveball, and he was fooled. Tried to drag it down. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't believe Cease has a strikeout yet in the game. Time is called. Yeah, let's look at... well, actually, he did strike out Norris to end the previous inning. Yeah, that's his only strikeout. 1-2 to Beltran with the bases empty in the 6th inning. And the pitch. Swung on line. Base hit into right field beyond the leaping second baseman, Charlie Jackson. And the inning continues for Connor Fajardo as Beltran comes through with 2 outs in the 6th. Fajardo grounded out and singled.
Now batting for the Mustangs. Catcher
Even if they don't score, that'll guarantee that you get to Jacob Ortega in the 7th. You've got to come around back to the top of the order. If Beltran had not gotten on, that would have been 8-9-1. At least now, as long as Beltran isn't picked off, it would be 9-1-2. Fastball down and away, throw back to first. Beltran back in standing. Got to be very careful over there. 1 ball and no strikes. Connor's base hit came in his second at bat. Fort Morgan has 9 hits in the game. How does Silver Creek have 11? I don't have 11 for them. The stretch. And the 1-0. And that bounces in. 2-0. Yeah, if you're Nick, and I think he's getting instruction over there. Stay as close to the bag as possible. Unless the ball bounces to Bangladesh, you're not going anywhere. 2 balls and no strikes, only because you want to turn over this lineup. 1 step lead at first. And the offering. Down and away, 3-0. And Austin Apple has not been retired today. He waits to hit next. 7-4 Silver Creek with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. The Mustangs are looking for a mini rally here. M-I-N-I. 3-0 pitch. Here it is. Fastball, strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike to Connor Fajardo, the senior catcher. One of 6 seniors on his team. Again, an abbreviated lead for Beltran at first. And a 3-1. Swung on line, base hit to left field. Beltran to second. The tying run's going to step to the plate. Will there be a pitching change? That's the question here in the 6th inning. We will have a visit to the mound. Yep, I think we're going to have a pitching change. I smell it right now. I see some not only activity in the right field bullpen, but yep, we're going to have a fresh pitcher come in with 2 out and 2 on in the 6th inning. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4 on B106 and B106.com. Matthew Kelfkin is the new pitcher, a right-hander, 1-0 with an ERA of 4. Not much activity this year for Silver Creek. Beltran at second. Noah Getman, the courtesy runner at first after Fajardo came up with his second hit of the game. Here's Austin Apple, who is 2 for 2. Looking back, the pitch. Fastball is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan looking to pull it off here and get even closer in the game. And the 1-0. Fastball, that's right there for a strike. Thigh high on the outer half. 1 ball and 1 strike. Unofficially, well, officially, I guess the board, Silver Creek with 11 hits, Fort Morgan with 10. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball down and in. That was a lethal pitch thrown by Kelfkin. Apple took a fastball swing at a curveball. And that normally does not signal success. The stretch. And the 1-2. Curveball is tapped foul up the third base side. Nice job of Apple just making contact with that one. He'll be playing baseball next year at McPherson College in Kansas. Beltran off of second, Getman at first. And the 1-2 pitch. Outside with a breaking ball, it's 2-2. Oh man, if you can get J.P. Hamer up in this inning. He's already got a 2-run double in the game. Apple is trying any way he can to get on base for Hamer. Runners take their leads. Looking back is Kelfkin. And the 2-2. Swung on, grounded off the end of the bat to first. It's a routine play, and the ball is dropped, picked up, and just in time. stepping on the bag. Oh, just in time to make the play was Tanner Reagan. And that retires Fort Morgan. Well, he dropped it for a second, but they get out of it. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 base runners left. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Silver Creek 7, Fort Morgan 4 on B106 and B106.com. I'm John Beltran as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jacob Ortega has been outstanding in relief here. 7-4 in favor of Silver Creek. And this is a tough part of the order. Charlie Jackson, Michael Wegleitner, and Spencer Rich. 1, 2, and 3.
The 6th inning for the Silver Creek Raptors. Right fielder number 4. Charlie
Jackson is 1 for 2. He's singled in the first, walked in the second, popped out in the third. Yeah, Ortega has been on quite the roll. Jacob Ortega comes home. Swung on, that's popped up on a changeup. The second baseman Beltran is out, calls for it, and makes the two-handed grab for the outs on the edge of the grass. There's one down. One down for Michael Wegleitner.
Third baseman number 9, Michael Wegleitner.
Wegleitner is singled, grounded into a fielder's choice, and then grounded to the second baseman Beltran. Wind and offering, swinging a foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. When it comes to your future, Northeastern is miles ahead. A college that's close to home, that's Northeastern. And the pitch swung on and lifted towards shallow left field, getting away from Hobby. Along the line, Hobby still going. He reaches out and makes the catch. Running towards that fence that he slammed into a couple of innings ago. He caught that one in fair territory. 2 down in the 6th inning.
Now batting for Silver Creek.
Spencer Rich has been on base all 3 times. A bunt single, an intentional walk, and a conventional base hit to left. Fill up your cooler, gas up your car. Stubbs Gas and Oil, easy and convenient. Make them the only stop you need on your way to the big game. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the wind and pitch. Up and away again, 2-0. Here to Spencer Rich. The wind and pitch. That's in the dirt. It bounces to the screen. 3-0 to the number 3 hitter in this lineup with 2 down and the bases empty in the 6th inning. And Fort Morgan trailing 7-4. I don't know what they're doing here. The pitch. That's right there for a strike. 3-1. Ball game's going on. It sounds like they're constructing a building back here. And the 3-1 pitch. That is a strike at the knees with a changeup. 3-2 to Spencer Rich. Ortega looking to put away this right-handed hitter. Jacob Ortega delivers. Swung on line foul up the right side and out of play. Had some good baseball. They're early struggles for the Mustangs, but they've outplayed Silver Creek in the last 3 innings. After it was 7-1, it's been Fort Morgan's game, but they still need more runs to come back. And the offering. That is below the knees. How did that? Oh, it should have been strike 3. Holy mahungus. You got to be kidding me. They called it a ball. Ortega was running off the mound. It's a walk. Wow. Wow. That was the same pitch he threw in the 3-1 that was called a strike. Here's Justin Swenson, who's 0 for 3. Man, I don't blame Jacob. He was a little bit demonstrative, thinking, hey, that's it. The pitch swung on, grounded left side, a dive by Apple. It's a base hit to left field. And now running to third, no, back to second. If they threw back to second, they might have had the base runner, as Rich wanted to take the extra bag. But Swenson, who was 0 for 3, is now 1 for 4. Well, now you got to get an out here. You have to get it out. Tanner Reagan is lined out, struck out, and popped out.
Baseman number 15, Tanner Reagan.
Got to get it out here with Reagan. You feel you still have a shot down by 3, but if this gets to 4 or 5, they were down by 3 against Palisade in the regional championship in the 7th. Swung on, tapped foul up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. Here to the right-handed hitter, Tanner Reagan, the first baseman for Silver Creek. The Raptors are going for their 27th win, but the Mustangs have been fighting since the early deficit. Throw back to first, and the tag applied, but in there is Justin Swenson on that back pick. Nice job of Jacob. Almost selling that even better than I thought he could sell it. Looking back is Ortega. Long pause, the pitch. Swung on, line base hit to left field. Spencer Rich is going to try to score. He's around third. The third of the plate is going to be cut off by Apple. It's a base hit. An RBI for Tanner Reagan. That's a killer. 8-4, Silver Creek with the insurance run in the 6th. Up to second is Justin Swenson.
Now batting for Silver Creek, shortstop, number 11, Cam Hassard.
Here's Cam Hassard, a 2-run single, a double, and then he flew to left field. Ortega looks back, and the pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. It's 0-1. Fajardo lays down the sign. Long pause. Looking back at second. Stepping off. 2 out hits. Those are golden. 3 runs were scored with 2 outs by Silver Creek in the 1st. And now a run here in the 6th. Swung on line. That's a base hit into right center field. That's going to plate another run. Around third is Justin Swenson. A run-scoring single for Cam Hassard. Silver Creek 9, Fort Morgan 4, as 4 in a row have reached for the Raptors.
Now batting for Silver Creek, designated hitter number 5, Alex Rich.
The 5-run lead. They're 3 outs away from their 27th win of the year and their 21st in a row. Alex Rich has singled twice and grounded out. Jacob unable to get that third out. He thought he had that third strike. And that changeup bounces away up the third base side. Fajardo's got to chase that down. Runners advance to second and third on the wild pitch. Well, let's see. Are they going to put him on? Josh Langford is out. Wow, I mean, you had 2 outs, a 3-2 pitch. Looked like it got the knees. It was called a ball. And since then, base hit, base hit, base hit for Silver Creek.
Now that's a great price.
But, you know, you look at the Final 4 here. You got a squad of Longmont and Silver Creek, a squad of Broomfield and Holy Family, Pueblo West, and Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan has to share all their athletes. By far the smallest of the 4 towns. Obviously there are multiple schools in Longmont and Broomfield and in Pueblo, but even still, your pool is limited in Fort Morgan. And they have put together a crop of outstanding talent. Well, it's not over yet though. But you don't want this to go to 11-4. Alex Rich will now hit. 1 ball and no strikes, and the pitch low with a fastball. It's 2-0. Fort Morgan has actually hit the ball well today in double digits in hits, but Silver Creek's got 14. Here's the wind, the 2-0 upstairs. 3-0. They might as well walk him here and just load the bases for the number 8 hitter, considering Rich has been on base 2 of the 3 times. 3-0 offering. Low with a fastball, so it's a 4-pitch walk. Brown is 0 for 2. Lined out, a sac bunt, and then he reached on an error. Get this guy out. You get into the dugout, down 9-4.
Right fielder number 10, Chris Brown.
The pitch, and that one is backhanded by Fajardo. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, Jacob looking tired out there. He's thrown 51 pitches, but he's been really good. It's just this last stretch where he has struggled. And the offering, up and in. 2-0. This might be his last hitter. He just lost the strike zone now. Reagan, Hassard, and Rich on the bases. Swing and a miss. Challenge him with a fastball up and in. Ball 2, strike 1. Silver Creek scored in the first, second, and third innings. Did not score in the fourth or the fifth, but 2 in the sixth. Swung on and lifted off the end of the bat, foul territory. Norris giving chase, but it's into the seats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Chris Brown. Regardless of what happens today, this Mustang faithful will give this team a huge ovation. The pitch outside. Now there's nowhere to put him. 3-2 with 2 down and 2 across. Jacob's body language looks like he's a little frustrated. He thought he had strike 3 much earlier. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled. Off to the right. Yeah, just keep feeding him that. Just keep feeding him that. Let him hit it. 3-2 to Chris Brown. Out of the windup. And the offering. Swung on line. Base hit into center field. 2 runs will score with the runners going. The throw's going to go all the way through to third. And it's a 2-run single for Brown. And Silver Creek has blown it open. They're up by 7, 11-4. Here in the 6th inning. We will be conversing with head coach Josh Langford at the end of this game, by the way. We don't want to focus in on this game as much as we do the season.
Catcher number 3, Rex Olinger.
There's Rex Olinger. He's 0 for 2. Reached on an air, walked and popped out. Olinger out of the 9-hole. 6 consecutive have reached for Silver Creek. Fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, Coach Langford wants Jacob to finish the inning. He doesn't want to pull him right now. The stretch. And the offering. Change up down and away. Boy, but you don't want Fort Morgan left on the field either. You don't want that to happen. If Silver Creek takes a 10-run lead, Fort Morgan is left on the field. You want them to bat to end this game. The stretch, throw back to first. Yeah, that would be unfortunate. It was 7-4 moments ago, and 6 have reached, 4 have scored. You just want to get this out and allow the Mustangs to hit in the 7th. 2-0. That's a strike on the off speed on the outer half at the knees. It's 2-1. Game is nearly 2 hours old here in Colorado Springs. The offering. Ball nearly hit him. Runner goes. No throw. Defensive indifference. 3 balls and 1 strike. Like I said, boy, you don't want to leave the Mustangs out on the field. Let's get this out. Let's get back into the dugout and swing it in the 7th. 3-1 pitch. Swinging a foul to the backstop. 3-2. And Charlie Jackson, who's the number 1 hitter in this lineup, waits to hit next. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Rex Olinger. At third is Rich. Chris Brown at second. Let's see if Jacob just goes with a straight-up fastball. Here it is. Swung on and driven to left field. That's going to drop off the end of the bat for a hit. That's going to score 2 more. Rich and Brown cross home plate on the base hit from Olinger. Silver Creek 13, Fort Morgan 4. Unbelievable. Here comes Josh Langford. And I believe here comes Nick Castaneda to try and get that final out and send Fort Morgan to the 7th and not remain on the field. Let's take a break. Silver Creek 13, Fort Morgan 4 in the 6th on B106 and B106.com. Nick Castaneda is the new pitcher. 7 straight have reached for Silver Creek. It was 7-4 with 2 down and the bases empty. And on the 3-2 pitch, a walk that certainly could have been called a strike was called a ball, and then followed by hit after hit after hit. And Nick Castaneda, who was the winning pitcher, being called upon to get the last out with a man at first and 2 down. Silver Creek 13 and Fort Morgan 4. Charlie Jackson will step in for the Raptors. You know, the thrill of playing on this field, too. I mean, what an awesome facility this is. And I understand the Mustangs are staying here anyway. Coach Langford said we're either playing tomorrow or we're going to watch the championship game. So they're going to be here tomorrow anyway.
Now batting for the Silver Creek Raptors.
Here's Charlie Jackson.
Fielder number 4, Charlie Jackson.
It's always nice to win a championship, but let's remember that this Fort Morgan team was not supposed to be here. They defied the odds. They lost 8 games during the regular season. They were down to their final 5 outs, trailing by 4 against Palisade. And that pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to Jackson, who has singled, walked, and popped out twice. He's 1 for 3. If the run scores from first, the game is over. That's why it's so critical to not leave yourself on the field there. And the pitch, a strike on the inside corner with a fastball at the knees. 1-1. Top of the order would come up if the Mustangs are able to hit in the 7th. Olinger leads off of first. I don't think he's going anywhere with a 9-run lead. Breaking ball is up and in, 2-1. Man, it's a game of inches, man. That no call on the strike, I just think it might have affected Jacob. Kept putting pitches out over the middle of the plate. Swung on and fisted foul and out of play off to the right. Count goes to 2-2 to Charlie Jackson. Fajardo lays down the sign. Olinger off of first. And the pitch, swung on and grounded foul up the third base side. Nearly took out a couple of Mustang coaches. Temperature dropping a little bit as the sun has disappeared and the wind has picked up. 26 hits combined in the game, 16 by Silver Creek and 10 by the Mustangs. 2-2. And the offering. Curveball is lined. That's another base hit into right field. Ortega's going to whip that one right back in. Throw back to second. Tag applied. Nothing doing. Wow. Well, now the game-ending run is 180 feet away.
Third baseman number 9, Michael Wegleiter.
How do you stop a team with 17 hits, including, 6 in a row? Wow. Michael Wegleiter is singled, hit into a fielder's choice, and grounded out twice. 1 for 4. Beltran playing him to pull. Yeah, you can't allow him to score at second. If not, this is it. Swung on, line towards center field. J.P. Hamer is going to have room. He makes the grab, and at least the Mustangs have sent this to the 7th inning as Wegleiter is retired. 6 runs, 6 hits. No errors and 2 men left. Let's head to the 7th in a 4A state tournament. It is Silver Creek 13, Fort Morgan 4 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the 7th inning. The Mustangs trail 13-4 to Silver Creek. J.P. Hamer, Jacob Ortega, and Isaac Linker against the right-hander Matthew Kelfkin. He retired. Austin Apple was the tying run at the plate.
Center fielder number 10, J.P. Hamer.
Hamer has walked, popped out, and hit a 2-run double. Here's the stretch by Kelfkin with the bases empty and the pitch. Breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Silver Creek scored 6 insurance runs to break it wide open. 7-4 game going into the bottom of the 6th. The pitch. Fastball, a strike on the inner half at the knees. 1-1. Here to J.P. Hamer. Huge year for the senior center fielder. And the offering in the dirt with a curveball. 2-1. Yeah, Kelkin can afford to throw his arsenal of pitches because he knows that the bottom line is right now with such a huge cushion. Of course, probably better to throw fastballs. The pitch. Fastball is up and in. 3-1. He's got major margin for error because of the advantage they have on the scoreboard. 3 balls and 1 strike to Hamer. Hamer, Ortega, and Linker in the 7th. The offering. And he walked him. Well, you know, it's only fitting that Hamer, in what could be his final at bat, would be on base. Mustangs looking for a miracle. Ortega with a sac bunt, a single and a line out. He's 1 for 2. 1 pitch at a time, 1 batter at a time. Sounds like a cliche, but hey, that's the way Silver Creek did it. They didn't even have an extra base hit. It was all singles. Fort Morgan was down by 6. They fought to it in 3. They had the tying run at the plate. And I'm not sure what the change is here. I guess they have to insert Ortega back into the game because he was taken off the hill. Castaneda was in that spot. So Jacob back into the lineup. And that's the reason the home plate umpire had to adjust his scorecard. He had Castaneda slotted in there. Short lead at first for J.P. Hamer. Here's the stretch. Long pause in the pitch. Bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. Yep, our next high school activity will be football in late August. And the 1-0. That bounces in as well with a fastball. 2-0. Backhanded there by Olinger. Yeah, the Mustangs are not going to go away here. They want to play baseball till about 5 o'clock tonight, but they need a huge rally. And the offering. That's a fastball. Strike 1, inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ortega. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Silver Creek leads 13-4 thanks to a 6-run 6th inning. And the offering. That is a strike with a fastball at the knees. Mr. D's Ace Home Center is a proud supporter of all the area athletes. They'll serve you with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies. 3 locations, Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. That's Mr. D's Ace Home Center. 2-2 to Ortega. Stepping off, no throw by Kelfkin. Mustangs, I don't know if they had a stolen base in the state tournament. There's some speed out there, but they didn't run much. 2-2 in the dirt with a curveball. Ball 3, strike 2 to Ortega. And the fans aren't giving up either. They are not giving up. They're encouraging Ortega. They're going to be yelling to the final out. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch swung on and lifted to left field. Should be a routine play for Swenson. He makes the grab. About 5 steps back, and there's 1 out.
Now batting for
1 out for Isaac Linker.
Number 8, Isaac Linker.
After 2 pop-outs, Linker had an RBI single, which accounted for Fort Morgan's 3rd run in the 5th inning, the 4th run overall. Oh, we're going to have a pitching change? And that might happen because of a pitch count. You don't want to extend a pitcher too much. And I think that's the reason that might be done. Yep, I think it's for pitch count reasons. Yeah, you don't want to have your pitcher go out there too much. If not, you need a day's rest, and then if you go past 35 pitches. So I think that's a smart move. All right, let's take a 1-minute break. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Silver Creek 13, Fort Morgan 4 in the 2019 Class 4A State Tournament from Colorado Springs on B106 and B106.com. Looks like Charlie Belcher is the new pitcher here for Silver Creek with 1 out. And the top of the 7th inning. It's a 13-4 Silver Creek lead. Isaac Linker steps in again, officially 1 for 3 for the senior shortstop. And the pitch, fastball, a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. Silver Creek made their mark early in this game with 4 in the first. Linker awaits the offering. Curveball, it drops in for a strike. Looked like it was below the knees. Linker didn't like it. It's 0-2, and Josh Langford yelling over towards the home plate umpire. Yeah, he doesn't want him to finish this game just because he wants to go, and now I think Langford's going to get a little bit of a talking to by the home plate umpire. He didn't like that at all. That looked like it was definitely below the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. Even Linker, who's rarely that demonstrative, reacted, and so did Langford. Just shy of the top of the hour, approaching 4 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. This is Morgan County's B106, KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan. No balls and 2 strikes to Isaac Linker. The Mustangs 2 outs away from having their season come to an end in Colorado Springs. And the pitch swung on and fouled. Heavy swing there. Way off to the left, hit foul by about 100 feet. He really turned on that baseball. Remains at 0-2 to Isaac Linker. At first is J.P. Hamer. He walked to lead off the frame. The pitch swung on, grounded up the middle, and a dive off the second baseman into center. Hamer's around second. He's to third. It's a base hit as Jackson took a dive at that baseball, and it deflected off the top of his glove. And now how big are those 6 runs, or even just 1 or 2 additional runs that Silver Creek scored in the bottom of the 6th inning?
First baseman number 12.
There's Nick Norris, who's grounded out twice and struck out. Yeah, Fort Morgan could have got that last out. Then we're talking about a realistic situation for a comeback. But here, you have to stack together so many hits. Oh. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Thigh high to the junior first baseman. Fort Morgan has 11 hits. Hamer and Linker on the bases and the offering. That's right there. That's a perfect pitch. Another fastball. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And the offering swung on line, foul off to the right. Count remains. Or check that. Yeah, it does remain at 0-2.
Thank you.
To Nick Norris. The pitch. Curveball is grounded towards left field. That's a base hit. Here comes J.P. Hamer to score. Nick Norris delivers. And again, Fort Morgan not going down without a fight as Linker advances to second. It's now 13-5, and here comes Alex Ortega. Oh, man. Now that makes what happened in the bottom of the 6th inning hurt that much worse. Sam Christensen will run for Norris at first.
Pitch running for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, number 22, Sam Christensen.
Alex Ortega's reached on an error and popped out.
Right fielder number 19, Alex Ortega.
Fort Morgan has come up with a couple of hits in the inning. Well, it's only appropriate that the Mustangs would not go down in order in this inning. It's only appropriate they would not get run ruled. They did get run ruled against Windsor this year, but that was against Owen Lochner, one of the best pitchers in the state, and Windsor is really a 5A team. Pitch to Alex. Fastball, a strike at the knees on the inner half. It's 0-1. 12 hits now for Fort Morgan, 5 fewer than Silver Creek. Runners at first and second. The pitch. Swung on line. That's a base hit into center field. Linker's going to hold up at third. And the bases are loaded for Javi Baquera. I'm telling you. Don't go anywhere, not yet.
Now batting for the Mustangs, left fielder number 11.
All right, hopefully we're back here. We had a connection issue. The pitch, a strike. No balls and one strike. We just had a base hit from Alex Ortega. Javi Baquera up there. And the offering. Curveball is upstairs. 1-1 to Javi. Javi has popped out, hit into a fielder's choice, and grounded out. The Mustangs have a run across here in the 7th. It's 13-5. Bases loaded. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back. Went with a fastball. 1-2. Yeah, apologize for any interruptions there, any signal issues that can sometimes creep up on us. 1-2 to Javi. And the offering swung on and fouled on a breaking ball that was up in the zone. Linker at third, Norris at second. Check that. Christensen at second, Ortega at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Javi. The stretch and the pitch. Curveball is up and in. 2-2. We have our first rain of the tournament. That's right, raindrops. It's nothing big. It's just a little drizzle. And the pitch. Fastball is below the knees. 3-2 to Javi. Oh, he was thinking about swinging at that, but it was below the knees. Man, this team never say die. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bases loaded. The pitch. Low! It's a walk. Here comes Linker. Bases loaded, walk. Now 13-6. Well, Nick Beltran has grounded to first twice and singled to right.
Batting for the Mustangs, second baseman number 21, Nick Beltran.
He likes to bunt, but he can't bunt in this situation, out with the bases loaded. Right on top of that plate. The right-hander comes home. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Only 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. The pitch. That's up and away. 2-0. Well, more than likely, I would think he'd be taking now. At 2 balls and no strikes to Nick Beltran in the 7th. The right-hander, Charlie Belcher, trying to find the zone. The pitch, up and away, 3-0. This is incredible. 3-0 pitch is a strike. Again, we had some signal issues as Beltran flinged his bat towards the dugout. 3-1 on Nick Beltran. Bases loaded, 1 out. Let's see if he's swinging away in the 3-1. The pitch. That is a strike at the knees with a fastball. 3-2. It was 3-0 on Beltran, now at 3-2. And the pitch. Swinging a foul to the screen. He got a piece of that baseball. Remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here to the sophomore second baseman, 13-6. With 1 out and the bases loaded. In the top of the 7th inning, the right-hander Belcher looks in. The offering. Swung on and driven into left center field. Rich to his right, and he's going to make the grab. The runner will tag at third in Christensen, and he's going to score. Sacrifice fly by Beltran makes it 13-7. But there are 2 down now.
Catcher number 7, Connor Fajardo.
Here is Connor Fajardo. Fajardo digs in. The pitch nearly hit him. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan, after giving up 6 in the 6th, has scored 3 here in the 7th. Trailing by only 6, but down to their final out of the season. And the 1-0. That's low with a fastball, 2-0. And if you can get the Hamer again, this is the 8th hitter of the inning for Fort Morgan. 2 balls and no strikes to Fajardo. Game approaching the 2.5-hour mark. The pitch. That's right there for a strike. He grooved in that fastball. 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. The offering. Swinging a foul into the glove of the catcher, Olinger. It's 2-2. Throw back to first, and they got Hobby. Hobby is picked off at first base, and Silver Creek wins the game on a pickoff by a score of 13-7. And unfortunately for Connor, he's left at home plate. The Mustangs score 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. We'll take a break, and we will wrap it up momentarily. We'll get out to the field, see if we can have a conversation with Coach Langford as Silver Creek wins the game by a score of 13-7. This is B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs go down to defeat here in Colorado Springs against Silver Creek, 13-7. Mustang post-game show brought to you by Morgan Community College. There to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. 13 runs on 17 hits, 2 errors, 7 left on base for Silver Creek. 7 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors, and 6 left on base for the Mustangs. The winning pitcher today, Ryan Cece, was the starter. And the loss went to Mateo Salcido. Time of the game, 2 hours and 24 minutes. You really got to credit this team from Longmont, which has now won 21 games in a row. They came out strong in the bottom of the first inning, getting a 2-run single from Cam Hassert. RBI single from Alex Rich made it 4-0. They extended the lead 1 inning later to 5-0. Fort Morgan did come back out. Jacob Ortega had a base hit. An error was committed on that base hit. A run scored, making it 5-1. But this team was resilient from Longmont. Alex Rich with an RBI single made it 6-1, and then he would score on a wild pitch. It was 7-1, but back came the Mustangs. J.P. Hamer had a big 2-run double in the 5th inning to make it 7-3. And then you had Isaac Linker with an RBI single. And with Linker's RBI single, we lost you there for a second. We're having some signal issues here from Colorado Springs. That made it a 7-4 game, but we're cleaning up this signal as we go along. And then the Mustangs had the tying run at the plate in the 6th inning, but could not plate anybody else. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, Silver Creek had the first 2 retired. And then all of a sudden, after a walk, hit after hit, after hit after hit, the hits just kept on coming, and Silver Creek ended up scoring 6 runs. The Mustangs, though, came back. I mean, they were not done in the top of the 7th inning, as Fort Morgan was able to plate 3 runs, so that at least, they weren't left on the field. They could have been left on the field there in the bottom of the 6th inning, but they were not. They got to the plate in the 7th. They generated a rally, and again, they were able to plate the 3 runs, as Nick Norris had an RBI single, Nick Beltran with a sac fly, and that was preceded by a walk to Javier Baqueta, as Silver Creek won the game by a score of 13-7. They improved to 27-2, and the Mustangs, with the loss, 19-10 to close out the 2019 campaign. Coach Langford still meeting with his team in the left field grass. Obviously, some final words for his team. They're going to get a huge ovation here, a huge ovation from the Mustang fans. Nobody is going away. They are sticking around here in Colorado Springs to properly salute this team that became the 2nd team in the 68-year history of the program to reach the Final Four And the first was in 1952. And here we are 67 years later at a professional facility, a minor league facility at USC Health Park in Colorado Springs, as Fort Morgan was able to go 2-1 last week and unfortunately could not pick up the victory today, but they kept on fighting, down 7-1, down 13-4. They could have easily said, hey, that's going to be it for now, but that was not the case. The Mustangs just kept coming back, but again, you're facing a team that had a very special season. In fact, Silver Creek is 27-0 against Colorado competition this year. And with all that Silver Creek has done. All right, I think we've reestablished a better connection here as the Mustangs getting a big hands from their fans. 13-7 the final score. Back here to the post-game show brought to you by Morgan Community College as Fort Morgan goes down to defeat their 29th and final game of 2019. But the Mustangs with a valiant effort here from Colorado Springs. We'll see it momentarily. Here is the Mustangs lined up beyond left field. We'll be able to speak with at least the head coach, Josh Langford, maybe with a couple of the seniors. But this is their moment right now. Undoubtedly, this is their moment, a well-deserved moment. This is a team in Fort Morgan that we have, unlike anything we've seen since the early 1950s. Since the early 50s, and lots of hugs, lots of emotion as well. There's no question about it. With all the adversity the Mustangs went through this year, considering that they could have been eliminated from this tournament quite a while back. They could have been eliminated from the postseason, I should say, way back. And the season was extended for a week and then for another week. And they took it here today all the way down to the Final Four. Two Tri-Valley League teams went down. Holy Family lost to Pueblo West 14-1. And then the Mustangs put together a more competitive effort before they lost here by a 13-7 count. 13-7 to Silver Creek. And again, we will try to get a word in here because this is our final broadcast until August. Then we'll get to Mustang football coming up on B106 as well as B106.com once we get to August. But again, we will certainly let them have their moment. And again, a well-deserved here on a gorgeous Friday in Colorado Springs. Now the Mustangs will be staying here. They will be staying here. And reason being, Coach wants his team to see what it's like to play for a championship. He says either we're going to play in that game or our kids will be out here tomorrow. They're going to spend the night here in Colorado Springs. They will not head back to Fort Morgan. And that'll be the case, but all types of hugs, all types of embraces out there in left field, and just to step out into this facility. And like Coach said last week, even with a loss to Pueblo West, why would you not want to play that type of baseball? And the way he phrased it, every single day of your life, every single day of your life, play that type of baseball. And that's the type of baseball that the Mustangs played throughout the course of the season. Without a doubt, they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. I mean, we could go back to the latter part of the regular season against Berthoud, into the early portion of the playoffs against Pueblo County. They trailed in that game. They trailed in the Palisade game. Love you too, bud. And Jacob Ortega. And as the guys are walking back to the dugout, oof, I didn't expect that with my son coming over here. That's a lot of emotion here, even though the players are, again, exchanging the hugs out there in shallow left field. Fort Morgan did win 20 games in 2013. That was their highest win total, but they were 20-1 that year. This year they went 19-10 and all the way to the Final Four. And they played some tough teams, and we know that anytime you get to this point of the season, they reach the Final Four, and it all comes to an end on a Friday in Colorado Springs. Had 6 seniors on the squad as well. So you got plenty of talent coming back for the 2020 campaign. Nick Castaneda threw a wonderful game. against Cheyenne Mountain for the Mustangs to play into this year. Of course, Austin Apple, who had 2 base hits today, the third baseman, Connor Fajardo, who came through in the clutch as well. And then of course, J.P. Hamer, Alex Ortega, and Isaac Linker, and just getting the job done. Coach Langford, I mean, again, it's about the journey. I know it's tough to lose in the final day. I know there's a lot of emotion out there. What are you thinking right now after a historic season, something that had not been done in this school in 67 years?
I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. Told all those guys thank you for what they taught me. They taught me about never giving up and always fighting to the end. And there was no better game than today to show that. We were flat on our backs, and they came out in that last inning and tried to find a way to make it close and battled every pitch that we had. And just very proud of them. And I just thanked them for showing me what it takes to get to something like this, not only state tournament but a Final Four. And so we've got some good kids, and we're striving to get back.
It was a 13-8 going into that final doubleheader against Berthoud. You win that first game. You're down in the 7th against Berthoud. You win that game. You're down in the middle innings against Pueblo County. You win that game. You're down late, down to your final 5 outs with a 4-1 deficit against Palisade. You win that game. Then you win against Cheyenne Mountain down to your final 9 outs with a 3-run deficit. It just seemed that was the character of this team. They were not going to give up. And I know coaches and players can say that, but this team actually accomplished that.
Yeah, and that's what I thank them for teaching me that you're never out of it. If you have pitches left, you are in it and you have a chance. And there has been no team more than this group that has come back when they've been knocked down. And they get up and they have that throwdown that we talk about that, some teams might have a little more of this, a little more of that. But if you've got throwdown and you're willing to get back up off the ground and fight, you'll go a long ways in life and, on the athletic field as well. But, I got to give a shout out to, my multi-sport athletes that I have. We have so many 2- and 3-sport athletes that compete year round, and I give a lot of credit to all of our coaching staff at Fort Morgan High School that help these guys be competitors year round. And in some cases, I just think we had more competitors than other guys.
Absolutely. Finally, Coach, your seniors. You had 6 seniors on the squad. They all made valuable contributions, not only throughout the course of the season, the state tournament, Nick Castaneda with a game he won, J.P. Hamer, Isaac Linker, 2 great leaders. Austin Apple had 2 hits today. Connor Fajardo, I think, had 4 or 5 hits in the last 2 games. And then, of course, Alex Ortega, who made contributions before he was hurt here early in the postseason.
Yeah, those seniors have led the way, and they peaked at the right time of the year. I mean, I tell you what, them coming in here at the end of the season and the postseason when we needed them the most has been huge. They have paved the way, and they are the true, reason as far as why we're here is because of our senior leadership and the way that they have helped set the groundwork to the young guys, but also pulled them along and carried them along with their leadership.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you, and we appreciate all your coverage.
Oh, our pleasure. Fort Morgan head coach Josh Langford, a historic season for the Mustangs. They go down in the state tournament today by a score of 13-7 to the Silver Creek Raptors. But again, the Fort Morgan Mustangs with everything to be proud of after winning 2 games in the state tournament and battling to the end against this team. They really battled to the end. And it just kept coming and coming and coming. And even in that last inning, even in the 7th inning, when Fort Morgan was down by 9 runs, they just kept coming back and they were going to fight. And Isaac, what are you thinking now? But you had a heck of a run here in the tournament. You had a heck of a high school career.
Yeah, it was awesome. I don't know how to end it the other way. I mean, it's 3-8, but then we started rolling and we were playing for each other.
Like one.
We walked in, we were awestruck, but it's such a player.
One of many incredible athletes and leaders on this team, one of 6 seniors. Let me get a quick word of my buddy here, J.P. Hamer. J.P., what about the experience you had here at the state tournament and really an incredible senior season going back all the way to the football year?
It's just amazing being out here with these boys. I love every single one of them so much. I wouldn't have asked for another team I love them all so much.
With all the competitive athletics you've taken place in, I mean, going back to your 6 and 7 years, you're number one right up there.
This is awesome.
You could actually hit the ball out of here with all the home runs you hit this year, because these are major league facilities.
It is a huge field. I mean, I never thought that I'd even hit a ball as far as I did today.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
What about playing center field out there with the amount of ground you've got to cover? That's massive.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. I couldn't decide whether to play back and just let everything in front of me, or if I needed to play up and have a chance on my head.
Behind the plate.
Yeah, I mean, we came a long ways, and I appreciate all the guys, all their hard work. You know, it's bittersweet, but I'm happy with our overall performance.
Absolutely, and handling this pitching staff, which was getting better throughout the course of the year. What about the challenges there, knowing you had a sophomore, Mateo was coming on, and obviously Jacob Ortega, Alex Ortega. You worked with a lot of guys, and Nick Castaneda threw a heck of a game to get you to this point against Cheyenne Mountain.
Yeah, all those guys did great, man. I mean, they came out and they threw it and did all they could ask for. So, I mean, being a sophomore on the stage, I am a little tired, but I mean, you got to keep that out of your head when you're playing and just focus on doing your best.
Connor, congratulations. Alex, what are you thinking now, man? Let me tell you, when I saw your graduation party, you said one thing. You said, I got a good feeling. We're going to play into the second weekend, and you guys did that.
Yeah, I was just preparing for the best, honestly, and I knew that our team had a bunch of dudes on it, so I was happy about that. And I mean, now for me, it's just to get going on with life, try to go play college ball, and that's about it. But, yeah.
Great memory, huh?
Yeah, it's a great memory being here. This place is awesome. I stopped for a second after everyone left, and I just looked around, and I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, hey, Alex, congratulations. All right. I know. Also, they'll get awarded you a heck of a face. Tell me, I know you're emotional. It's an emotional game, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never been so happy and upset at the same time.
No, I know. You want to win. We all want to win. I know. But what about the game you had today? This is your last game as a high school player. You had 2 hits. You left it all out on the line. You got to be happy with yourself.
Yeah, I just trying to put the ball in play and just contribute to the great team we have here.
Well, Austin, congratulations. You had a heck of a... That's Austin, senior third baseman for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. I don't know if Nick is around here. We talked to 5 of the 6 seniors, but just an incredible season for the Fort Morgan Mustangs as they finish with 19 wins and 10 losses, and just put together one heck of a run here in Colorado Springs. They went 2-2 in the tournament, and Fort Morgan, as a result, is going to finish as a Final Four team. There were a Final Four team coming in, and there were a Final Four team coming out. Would have been better had they won, perhaps, but you know what? It's still an incredible memory. The journey was great. Mustang Player of the Game brought to you by Transwest. They believe that customers are number one. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today. That's Transwest. We'll give the 6 seniors players of the game here. Connor Fajardo, J.P. Hamer, Isaac Linker, Alex Ortega, Nick Castaneda, and Austin Apple. Those are your Mustang players of the game. And thank you so much to all the sponsors that made this broadcast responsible